Hey y'all. So we're moving on today into verse 5. So this is Psalm 1, verse 5. And it says, "Therefore the wicked, those disobedient and living without God, shall not stand justified in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous, those who are upright and in right standing with God." So this shows the separation. And we talked about early on when we first started in verse 1. We look at the life of the ungodly, the wicked, the one who does not choose God, and we look at the life of the godly. And so we have the wicked, those who are disobedient and living without God, shall not stand justified in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous, those who are upright and in right standing with God. It's absolute here. And this is one thing that I say we all, but a lot of people struggle with, is that there's not a gray area here. It's not almost, it's not in the middle. You either are righteous and justified, or you are unrighteous and unjustified. And so that is the wicked, the ungodly, or the righteous, those who have chosen God. There's not a middle, an in between, or an intermediate. I saw on the news this week. I don't watch the news, so I suppose I saw on Facebook where a famous person passed away, and I don't follow people, so I don't know what this person says. I don't know what he believes, and it talked about when he died, and my thought was, wonder what he saw when he opened his eyes, when he actually entered into eternity. What then? And the reality is, this life that we live now, that we see, is but a moment. And eternity, as it says, is eternal. And it does matter. The things that we do and what we choose in this life matters. It doesn't matter just for my family, or just for how my job goes, or just how our house is. It matters long term. The things that I do and the choices that I make matter eternally. And there's not a gray area. You can't almost make it to heaven. You either do or you don't. My dad used to say, did you do such and such? Well, almost. And his famous line was, well, almost counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. You can almost make it with a horseshoe, right? The closest one wins, or a hand grenade. And I suppose you could get close enough to do damage. I'm not really sure. But that was the old saying, almost counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. And I don't want to almost make it, because if you almost make it, you don't make it. And so we have to understand, we have to know that the choices that we make in this life matter. 2 Corinthians 6, we'll start in verse 14. It says, "Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Do not make mismated alliances with them, or come under a different yoke with them, inconsistent with your faith. For what partnership have right living and right standing with God with iniquity and lawlessness? Or how can light fellowship with darkness? What harmony can there be between Christ and Belial, the devil? Or what has a believer in common with an unbeliever? What agreement can there be between a temple of God and idols? For we are the temple of the living God. Even as God said, I will dwell in and with and among them, and will walk in and with and among them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people." There is absolute division. There is light and there is dark. and the two cannot coexist. And we'll pick up here tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.